The NBA playoffs have reached a critical stage, and now there's just one spot left in the conference semifinals. That final spot will be decided tonight as the Cleveland Cavaliers face the Toronto Raptors in a win-or-go-home Game 7. The pressure couldn't be higher, and everything is on the line. The Cavs protected home court and will next face the #1 Detroit Pistons, who advanced after rallying from a 3-1 first-round deficit against the #8 Orlando Magic. Game 1 is scheduled for Tuesday in Detroit. Jarrett Allen finished with 22 points, 19 rebounds, and 3 blocks for the Cavs, who won all 4 of their games at home. Donovan Mitchell had 22 points, and James Harden added 18 points. The Cavaliers' lead grew to as many as 19 points in the third quarter, widening the gap between the two teams that became the first to have the same amount of points, 669, through the first 6 games of a playoff series in 10 years. The last time that happened was in the 2016 NBA Finals, when Cleveland beat the Golden State Warriors and claimed the franchise's first title. Scottie Barnes had 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists for the Raptors, who fell to 0-11 in playoff games in Cleveland, and RJ Barrett added 23 points. Brandon Ingram, heel, missed his second straight game in the series, and Emmanuel Quickley, hamstring, missed every game. Here are some key takeaways from Game 7. Cavs combine talent, home court advantage. Well, I have my answer to my thinking out loud from the other night. Yes, the Raptors could force a Game 7 in dramatic fashion and then lose it. The Cavs' defense was strong for most of the first round, that and their bench. It's probably the most consistent positive themes to emerge from this series. Kenny Atkinson went back to his defense-first lineup with Dean Wade for Game 7. What I like about it, other than it works, it was easily Cleveland's best-performing lineup analytically in the series, is that it can work against Detroit, too. I would not be surprised to see Wade guard Cade Cunningham. Max Strus, back in a reserve role, was still an energy boost and an antagonizer. He tried to put his head through Barrett at one point. Sam Merrill was the sharpshooter off the bench for Cleveland this time. But again, it was a series where, for the most part, at least one Cavs reserve was really good each night. It was an annoying, frustrating, underwhelming series, and it would be fair to say the Raptors simply ran out of fuel. The Cavs' combination of talent and home court advantage was enough to outlast the opponent. Mitchell and Harden, man your positions for the next series. You will be needed. Joe Varden. Injuries too much for Raptors to overcome. The Raptors were already without Ingram and Quickley, who combined to make $70 million. Yet it was when Jamal Sheed, who was making the minimum as a second-round pick from 2024's draft, started hopping that the Raptors' upset bid felt doomed. The Raptors were tied at the half, but they could not afford one more departure. Sheed, who had led the Raptors with 14 first-half points, fell twice when guarding, something you rarely see from the pugnacious guard. He is known for his ability to defend, but with the Cavaliers free to devote so many resources to slowing down Barnes, given the other starters' absence, the Raptors needed Sheed's ability to attack the paint. He provided it in the first half, but hopping to the locker room was a bad sign. He managed to return for the second half, but was clearly not himself. The Raptors were one of the worst offensive teams to make it to the playoffs, and without Sheed's paint pressure, they were without the requisite engines. The Raptors needed almost 5 minutes to record a field goal in the third quarter, and the Cavaliers finally created separation. There is no shame in the loss for the Raptors, who would have been a considerable underdog in this series if they were healthy. They weren't. Sandro Mamukelashvili is Toronto's most notable free agent, which could allow the Raptors to bring back the heart of their core. That doesn't mean they should. This team needs more shooting prowess around Barnes badly. Regardless, they can feel excellent about the way they comported themselves this season, and especially this series. Eric Koreen. Allen rises to the occasion for Allen this time. Allen's monstrous third quarter snapped the Cavs from a first-half malaise that threatened their season and continued a trend of the Cavs' big men bailing them out when they needed it most. It's fair to lash the Cavs for allowing this series to extend to 7 games. Nevertheless, they showed the energy and the fight in the second half necessary for any chance at a deep postseason run, and it was Allen who guided them. Previously in this series, Mobley had his moments.
The Cavs are still waiting on their two biggest stars, Mitchell and Harden, to get hot offensively. Both shot poorly in Game 7 and struggled throughout this series, but still have life because of the play of the Cavs' bigs. Allen, who famously admitted after a playoff series loss to the New York Knicks that the lights were too bright for him and his teammates, scored 14 points and grabbed 10 rebounds in the third quarter. Allen has been maligned during his time in Cleveland for vanishing in the playoffs and for not playing through a rib injury a couple of years ago. This time, however, he was brilliant when the Cavs desperately needed him. Jason Lloyd.